You have a job. The job pays $38,000 a year. That is $3,166 a month before taxes. After taxes, after the health insurance that they take from your check automatically, after the $47 parking fee you agreed to without thinking, you take home $2,280. Your rent is $890. Your car payment is $310. Your student loan hits on the 17th. That is $240. You have done this math before. You will do it again tonight. The number at the end is always the same, not enough. A typical Tuesday looks like this. You wake up at 7:10. You have a granola bar in the car because there is no time for breakfast. You already spent $14 on lunch yesterday and you are trying to be careful. You sit at a desk for 9 hours. You answer emails that generate more emails. You eat lunch at your desk because leaving takes 20 minutes and costs $12 and you are trying to be careful. You drive home in traffic. You heat something up. You watch something you will not remember. You check your bank balance at 11 p.m. The number is the same as it was yesterday. Slightly smaller, actually. There was a charge you forgot about. This is not a bad life. You know it is not a bad life. But there is a version of a life that does not feel like this and you do not know how to get there. And nobody around you seems to know either. Your coworker Marcus is 34. He makes $67,000. He drives at least a BMW. He talks about the market sometimes in the way people talk about weather, like it happens to other people, like it has nothing to do with him. Last week he said he was going to start putting money away soon. He has been saying that for 3 years. You know this because you asked him once and he told you without realizing what he was telling you. You open an app on your phone, a brokerage account. You have been meaning to do this for 4 months. You deposit $100, not because you have a plan, not because you read a book, because someone in a comment section wrote 7 words that you have not been able to stop thinking about. Time in the market beats timing the market. You buy 1 share of an S&P 500 index fund. You set up an automatic transfer, $100, every month, first of the month. You tell no one. There's nothing to tell yet. The balance is $100. It feels like nothing. It is not nothing. Age 22, balance $100. You are 25 years old. You got a raise 8 months ago. You make $44,000 now. You moved apartments. The new place costs $1,040 a month, but you have your own bathroom and a window that faces east, and that felt worth it at the time. You have not missed a single month. 36 transfers. 36 times $100 plus the returns. You open the app on a Tuesday evening for no particular reason. The balance is $4,200. You deposited $3,600. The market gave you $600 for free. That is not the right way to think about it, and you know it, but that is how it feels. Your friend Devin just bought a car, $34,000, financed over 72 months. He is paying $580 a month for something that loses value every single day he owns it. He showed you the car on Saturday. It is a nice car. You said it was a nice car. You meant it. You also did the math in your head while he was talking. $580 a month for 6 years is $41,760 for something worth $18,000 by the time it is paid off. You did not say that out loud. That is not the kind of thing you say out loud. You are paying $100 a month for something that gains value while you sleep. You do not say this to Devin. Devin did not ask. A market correction happens that year. 14% down over 6 weeks. You watch the balance drop to $3,600. You feel something in your stomach. Not panic exactly. Something closer to the feeling of turbulence on a plane. Your body reacts before your brain does. Your brain catches up quickly. You do not sell, you buy. The automatic transfer goes through on the first of the month the same as always. $100 into a market that is 14% cheaper than it was 6 weeks ago. You are buying more shares for the same money. You do not fully understand compounding yet, but you are living it. A down market is not a loss, it is a discount. The only people who lose money in a correction are the ones who sell during it. You did not sell, you will not sell, not now, not ever. Age 25, balance, $4,200. You are 30 years old. A lot has happened. You changed jobs twice. The second change was a real one. You are making $61,000 now. You have been at this company for 2 years. The work is harder. The paycheck is real. You increased your investment to $300 a month 14 months ago. Not because someone told you to, because you ran the numbers one night, and the difference between $100 and $300 over 20 years was a number large enough to make you put down your phone and sit quietly for a moment. You are in a relationship. She knows about the account. She does not fully understand it yet. But she has seen you not panic during two separate market drops, and there is something she respects about that, even if she has not said it directly. Last month, she asked you why you never seem stressed about money the way her friends are stressed about money. You said it was because you made one decision at 22 that took most of the future decisions off the table. She asked what the decision was. You showed her the account. She was quiet for a moment. Then she asked why nobody talks about this. You did not have a good answer for that. You still do not. You open the app. The balance is $31,400. You have deposited approximately $17,400 over 8 years. The market has added $14,000 on top of that. The money you did not earn is now almost as large as the money you did. Marcus from your old job posted on LinkedIn last week. He is 42 now? The post was about starting to think about retirement. Starting to think about it at 42. The comments were full of people saying same and relatable and we will figure it out. A whole generation nodding along to the idea of starting to think about it at 42. You are 30. You have $31,400. You have been thinking about it since you were 22. You do not comment on the post. Compound interest does not feel real until it is real. For the first 8 years, it feels like you are doing nothing. Like you are pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. Then one morning you look down and the bucket is almost full and you do not remember when that happened. Are starting to see the bucket fill. Age 30, balance, $31,400. You are 35 years old. You got married 2 years ago. You have one child. She is 14 months old. She costs more than you expected in ways that have nothing to do with money. Your salary is $84,000. Your wife makes $71,000. Together you are doing well. The kind of well that still feels fragile sometimes when the car makes a noise or the furnace runs long. You have kept the investment going. $300 a month for 5 years. You increased it to $500 last January. Not a dramatic decision, a quiet one. A Sunday morning decision made over coffee while the baby slept. Your wife was the one who suggested increasing it. She has been reading. She understands the account now better than you expected, and in some ways better than you do. She tracks the contributions in a spreadsheet. She showed it to you one evening. 23 rows, one for each month since she started tracking. The trend line goes one direction. Your colleague Brian is also 35. He makes more than you. He drives a better car. He took his family to Europe last summer. He does not have a brokerage account. He has a 401k he has not looked at in 3 years. He says he will figure it out later. You had lunch with Brian on Thursday. He spent 12 minutes talking about a watch he is thinking about buying. $2,400. He has the money for it. That is not the point. The point is that $2,400 invested today at the returns you have seen is worth approximately $9,800 in 20 years. Brian is buying 12 minutes of admiration from people at restaurants. You did not say this. You listened about the watch. You said it sounded like a nice watch. Later is a word that costs money every single day it is used. You open the app. The balance is $89,700. You sit with that number. You have never had a number that size before. Not a salary, not a loan, a number that is yours, that nobody can take. That is not attached to a car or a mortgage or a monthly payment. Just yours. Your daughter is asleep in the next room. You think about her for the first time in the context of this account. What it means, what it could mean. You do not open a calculator, not tonight. Tonight, you just sit with it. The moment the balance becomes larger than 1 year of savings is the moment it stops feeling like saving and starts feeling like building. You are not saving anymore. You are building something. The difference is not just the number. The difference is how you think about the future. Age 35, balance, $89,700. You are 40 years old. You were promoted 18 months ago. Your title changed. Your responsibilities tripled. Your salary is $112,000. You have not increased the investment above $500 a month. Not because you cannot, because you made a decision 3 years ago to also max your 401k. $23,000 a year into the 401k. $500 a month into the brokerage account. The two accounts together are a different kind of machine than either one alone. The market had a bad year when you were 38. Not a correction, a real drop. 31% over 9 months. The account went from $148,000 to $102,000. You did not sleep well for 1 week. Then you went back to the numbers. Not the balance, the shares. You owned more shares at $102,000 than you owned when the account was at $148,000. Because you had kept buying every single month while the price fell. You did not sell, you bought. Three people at work sold during that drop. You know this because they told you. They told you proudly at first, in October when everything kept falling. They said they got out at the right time. They said they were being smart. By March, they had stopped talking about it. By the following January, when the market had fully recovered, nobody brought it up again. That is how it always goes. The people who sold during the crash do not give updates after the recovery. The account recovered in 14 months. Then it went higher than it had ever been. You have stopped checking the balance daily. You check it once a month. On the first, after the transfer goes through, it has become a ritual the way checking the mail is a ritual. Routine, quiet, reliable. Your wife checks it sometimes too now. She understands it differently than she did at 30. She has started her own account. She has been contributing for 2 years. You did not suggest it. She arrived at it herself. That means more to you than if you had suggested it. Devin called last month. He is stressed about money. He has a good job. He makes $95,000, but he has a lease, a credit card balance 4 years old, and no investment account. He asked you what he should do. You told him to open an account, deposit whatever he could, even $50, start the clock. The clock is the only thing that cannot be purchased later. He said he would think about it. He has not opened the account. You open your app. The balance is $219,000. You have deposited approximately $85,000 over 18 years. The market has added $134,000 on top of that. You put in $85,000. The market gave you $134,000. The money you did not earn is now 60% larger than the money you did earn. You are 40 years old. You have $219,000 in an account that did not exist when you were 22, and you started it with $100. After 18 years, the market is no longer something that happens to you. It is something that works for you. The relationship has changed. You are not hoping anymore. You are watching. Hoping is anxious. Watching is patient. You became patient somewhere around year 12, and you did not notice it happening until it already had. Age 40, balance, $219,000. You are 45 years old. Your daughter is 11. She plays soccer on Saturday mornings. You have not missed a game. Your son is 7. He is interested in everything for 4 days at a time. Currently, it is dinosaurs. Your salary is $134,000. You have been at this company for 9 years. You are good at what you do in the specific way that only comes from doing something for a long time and paying attention the whole time. You still transfer $500 a month. You have never stopped, not during the job change, not during the wedding, not during the baby years, not during the market crash, not once in 23 years. It is the one financial decision that required almost no discipline after year 2. Because after year 2, it was automatic. Not just the transfer, the thinking. The way you see money changed. You stopped seeing $100 as something to spend and started seeing it as something to deploy. That shift is quiet. It does not announce itself. One day you are 22 and $100 feels like a lot. One day you are 45 and you understand that the $100 you spent at 22 on things you do not remember would be worth $1,100 today. You open the app. You already know the number is going to be large. But knowing does not reduce the effect of seeing. The balance is $318,000. You have deposited $27,600 over 23 years. The market has added $290,400. Every dollar you invested at 22 is now worth $11. Sit with that. Not because it is impressive, because it is mathematics. Because it was always going to be this. You did not need to be rich. You did not need to be smart. You needed $100 and the willingness to leave it alone. Brian from your office is also 45. He makes $118,000. He has a beautiful home. He is a good person with a genuinely good life. He has $34,000 in retirement savings. He is not behind because he made bad decisions. He is behind because he made no decision. Indecision has a price. The price is calculated in decades, not in dollars. Devin finally opened an account last year. He is 45. He deposited $200 a month. He will have to work longer than he planned. Not because of the $200, because of the 23 years he waited before the $200. You close the app. You go downstairs. Your daughter is at the kitchen table doing homework. She asks you what compound interest is because it came up in her math class, and she did not understand the teacher's explanation. You pull out a chair. You sit down next to her. You do not open a textbook. You open the app. You show her the number. You tell her you started with $100 when you were 22 years old. She looks at the number. She looks at you. She is quiet in the way 11-year-olds are quiet when something is landing differently than they expected. She asks how much you put in total. You tell her. $27,600. She does the subtraction in her head. She says that does not seem fair. You tell her that is exactly right. That is the entire point. You find something that works and then you let it work and you do not get in the way of it working. She asks if she can start an account. She is 11 years old. She has $340 in a savings account. You feel something that is hard to name. Not pride exactly, something quieter than pride. The feeling of watching someone stand at the beginning of something and understand it before they have to learn it the hard way. You tell her yes. You tell her to start with whatever she has, even $10, even $5. The amount is not the point. The clock is the point. The clock you started at 22. That has been running for 23 years through every job change, every market crash, every month where $100 felt like too much and you sent it anyway. Her clock would start earlier than yours, by 11 years. 11 years of compounding before she ever has a job. You do the math. If she starts with $340 today and adds $25 a month and does not touch it until she is your age, you show her the number. She is quiet again. Then she says, "Can we do it tonight instead of this weekend?" You close her homework. You open the laptop. You spend 40 minutes setting up an account for an 11-year-old. The best time to start was 22. The second best time is right now, not tomorrow. Not when the market is better, not when you have more, right now. Somewhere tonight, there is a 22-year-old lying on a couch in an apartment that costs too much. They are doing the math that does not work. Same numbers, same answer, not enough. They have $100. They are trying to decide if it is worth it. It is not a question of worth. It is a question of clocks. Your daughter's account is open now. Balance, $340. It feels like nothing. It is not nothing. Start the clock.